Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new season of Speed Force Racing. Of course, new year, new season, new division, new drivers, and same old commentator. It is me, Rogue Smithy, otherwise known as Charlie Smith, whatever you want to call me. And we are here tonight at Mexico City obviously, as the name implies, Mexico. One of the more classic circuits on the calendar. First race in 1963, won by Jim Clark by, I'm going to guess, a decent bit. Well, Jim Clark, he was one of the greatest drivers, to be honest, and as well. Jack Brabham on the podium in that day as well, in his Brabham, of course his name, and the Lotus of Jim Clark won the race after a pole position along with it. But very different track from back then, very different cars as well, about 40 seconds faster compared to the original day. The original cars back in 1963, and a very different track, of course. Being a 5-kilometre circuit, it's reduced in size to about a 4-kilometre circuit now, 4.3 kilometres I believe it is, and a couple more corners too. But the spirit of the track's still there, the atmosphere's still here, and it is going to be a really good race tonight. I already feel it. Of course, it's new season, new division, of course, as well. So we've got new faces to say hello to. Of course, old face, Mad G in the chat there. As the Williams of Smooth Operator is going to be first to have a lap at Mexico this season. He'll be the first ever driver in SFR this season to set a lap. Will it be a valid lap though? We'll have to find out as he enters the very, very long straight. I'm not too sure on the distance, but I'll have a double check on that before the race. But DRS open to later deployment, deployment in DRS than usual. Brake about the 100, just 90 degree. You want to take a little bit of curve there, not too much though, and a little bit there. Can throw the car out. DRS enabled there again as the short run down to turn 4. You brake about the 100 metre, swing it in, don't want to lose the rear, just want to set yourself up for the next couple corners as well, as there we go, and the double right, you don't want to go too wide there, it can wreck your corner, as we head into the very, very exciting section of just S's, and it's constant speed through here, flat out through quite a few of these corners, as he runs through to the end of sector 2 now, as he's gone very wide there. At the very end of Sector 2, DRS enabled down a very short blast as there's a yellow flag through Sector 1. Of course, he's going to go purple. He's very slidey on the rear, his Smooth Operator, as he heads into the stadium section. One of the better atmospheres in Formula 1, especially when Perez was doing well. Of course, not in a seat this season. As he comes out the final corner, you want to get a good run and hug the inside line and just get the fastest lap, as we see Smooth Operator doing. It's a 1:18.1 by the Williams, as it's going to be not beaten by Brass Monkeys, but Silver Fox demolishes it with a 15.5 there, as Alex Haug goes with a 16.0. Doran there, the Aston Martin, 15.9. As always in the Aston Martin is SFR Doran. I don't think I've seen him in SFR without Aston Martin my first season. Back in season 10, he was with the Bear, I'm pretty sure. Got his first win in the first race I commentated, and that is a close gap between Billy G, as John Mobes runs to the top of the timing screens there, over 2/10 faster than Silver Fox on his lap time. Preb with his lap there, it's going to be invalid. He'll have to go again. Dom to finish his lap now, goes a little wide through there, very wide exit into the final corner, and he'll go to P6 with a 16.555. Simo through her final corner now, and darting to the outside as well, maybe going for another lap. No, P7, 16.6 for the Mercedes. Preb still through sector 1. Brass Monkeys sliding out of the stadium section there. As he comes to the final corner now, he'll not hug the inside line, he's just going to finish it. It's going to be a 17.9, which puts him P8. Preb still coming in his lap. The Vicar in the pit lane still yet to set a lap. Couple cars through the middle sector, maybe in the way for Preb, as he heads through there, flat, little lift there, of course, you see, and back onto the throttle for the DRS, and the little blast down the very, very short straight into sector 3. Nice and wide there for Preb. Nice easy break, and you want to hit that marker on the outside, the little flag light stick. Again, just a little bit past it for there, and he's going to get a nice little bit of a toe into the final corner, and it's going to be a 16.2 for the McLaren. He goes to P6 behind Billy G, but ahead of Dom. As we're just looking now, it looks like Dom's going to go for another lap. He's charged up for it. He's onto hot lap, and he's into overtake out the final corner, and he'll be starting his second lap of the session. Hopefully second valid lap of the session. Doran down less than a tenth through the middle, through the first sector there, as Dylan Vince joins. That makes it 14 for tonight. I believe that's a full grid, as he's 3/10 up there as Dawn, which would put him P3. Little lock up there though, through, I believe it's turn 14 there, as heading through the stadium section. It's a very clunky section that though, which I believe they should straight out, but that's my personal opinion on that. But here we go to the line. It's going to be SFR Doran. He goes 3/10 faster, but it's not good enough to improve his position on the track. Just improves his time to a 1:15.5. Stays in P3. Preb through the middle sector now slows down. He might have validated. No, he's just made a mistake. It's the Haas of Red Doubts, I believe, to cross the line next. He'll be followed quickly by Night Creed in the Williams. He's behind Smooth Operator at the minute. There we go, 14 on the grid. Red Doubts to P10. Night Creed with no improvements at the minute, P12. And the Vicar starting his first lap of the session and of the season. This will be an interesting one to see. The Vicar, of course, was in Division 3 last season, got a podium in Division 3 Mexico. If I remember correctly, a rain race. Mr. Wiggles won that one. It was a very chaotic race in the rain there. Hopefully we don't have much rain. I'm sure a lot of these drivers are praying for no rain around Mexico, as it is quite a finicky track in terms of setup. You can go low, you can go high. For the lower setup, for a lower downforce setup, you're going to obviously benefit through the first sector. Middle sector and the end of the lap, you're going to really struggle though, as it comes to slow, medium speed, like just long flowing corners, which can be difficult to do with obviously lower downforce compared to the higher downforce cars. There we go, little lift through there, little brake for the Vicar, flat through the next one, and slight lift. You just see it on the throttle there as he heads towards the middle sector marker, and it is a 15.0 according to the timing. It's a purple sector 2, which I don't believe, as it can be a bit glitchy there. A lot of curb taken through the first part of the stadium, a lot of curb taken through the second part, no curb taken through the third. But he's going to come through to the final corner now, take it on the variance there, and it goes to P4. 3/10 off of Doran, 2/10 ahead of Alex Haug. And a nice lap for the Vicar there in the Ferrari. Alex Haug 3/10 up though on his second hopefully second valid lap of the season. Quite a few people now watching, 12 people. Welcome all to the new season of SFR. Alex Haug in the OWR Alpine. He'll be 3/10 up. This at the minute will put him ahead of Doran and the Vicar, up to P3, possibly even P2 ahead of Silver Fox. Fellow OWR driver John Mobe still there, out on an out lap, currently on pole position, provisional pole position for the start of the season. Overtaking Abel at the final corner there for Alex Haug. It's going to be provisional pole for the Alpine for now. For now, it's provisional pole, but with a lot of drivers still yet to come and 9 minutes to go in the session, John Mobes could be beating that. And Billy G through the middle sector is not improving, as Night Creed is not really doing that either. Dylan Vince on his outlap with I believe that's a Ferrari in front. That might be the Ferrari of the Vicar. Yes, it is. With a car behind as well, that's a Williams. Again on an outlap, smooth operator there. I'm just going to call him smooth operator, I'm going to guess. There. But John Mobes through first sector, quite a bit bouncy on the curbs there as he enables DRS. He heads towards the end of the first sector, just at the very end of this straight. It's going to be 1/10 improvement, that'll put him on pole front at the minute. But can he keep this up through the rest of the lap? Nice little 4 and 5 there, 6 and 7, nice and tidy. Coming towards turn 8, the very fast, very medium speed left-hander, but can be taken very quickly there. Don't want to take the inside curb, but can spin you there as well. Heading through, nice and very nice from John Mobes there. DRS enabled as he has a little run down to the Sector 2 line. He's still on provisional pole with his current lap time, as long as he doesn't lose over a tenth on this final sector. Nice and simple through there as he comes through to the final corner. And it's going to be a little slide on the exit there though, but it's going to be provisional pole and nearly into the 114s already off the bat of the season. 15.315 compared to a 15.0, so a 3/10 gap for the Ferrari at the minute. Billy G makes contact on the final corner with a Williams there. I believe that was smooth operator. Preb getting behind another Williams there as well. I believe that might be Nate Creed. Quite a few traffic issues here at Mexico. Short track, of course, it's going to be. Very high-speed track too. So he's just still going to come up to P5, is Preb. Nice little lap from him up to P6. As Dom is 8 tenths up in the Mercedes with Simo on an outlap. Dylan Vince up to P10. Forgot to mention him. Nice tidy lap from him. I believe it's his first season in SFR. As the Mercedes of Dom comes to the line, and he's going to go to P3, 1.1 seconds on the improvement, and that is a nice lap from the Mercedes as he's up there now. As John Mobus, believe, might be coming into the pits. Yeah, he might be going for another lap though. By the looks of it, tyre wear is not much of an issue round here. A lot of charge up. No, he's coming into the pits. As Simo will start her lap. Brass Monkeys is 6 tenths up at the end of Sector 1. What a start to his lap for the Haas. He's gone a little wide through 4 and 5 though. 6 and 7. Slight lock on the... I don't know if you can hear the squeal of the tyre, which indicates a slight lock there. Again, it might be the ABS coming in for the game. Not too sure. But nice and easy through here. Flat for the Haas. DRS enabled as he has a short blast now to the end of the lap, and the stadium section of course has a few confetti cannons towards the end of the race, both in real life and in the game, as he just heads through now to the final corners. Last 2 corners for him now. Nice and tidy for the Haas, and he's going to move up to P11. Nice lap for him. 16.9, 9/10 improvement for the Haas. As Mercedes of Simo is on her lap now through the middle sector, where we've picked up a lot of drivers today. Not much invalidations going on, which is always nice to see. Clean session for most people. 1.3 seconds down through the middle sector according to the timer, which might just be a slight mistake and she might go for another lap, or it could be an EA game mistake. As there we go, first invalidation of commentator curse, as that commentator curse has come in full effect. And that is the first invalidation I've seen of the session. Vicker was in P5 last time we checked. Last time he finished lap he was P5. Maybe even he was P4. Durham was P3. He was now P5 and on a lap. He's about to end the first sector, purple sector 1 for the Aston Martin. Coming through 5 and nice, easy through 6 and 7. Nice and tidy so far for the Aston Martin. He comes through 8. 9, you don't want to take too much curb. 10 as well. 11, you can take as much curb as you want there. You don't want to touch the grass though. 12 as well is nice and easy. Nice lap for Doran so far. This is going to be a clean lap. 3/10 up. 56.1 through the middle sector. Slight lock up there though, heading into the stadium. And another decent lock up there, but it might just be the visual glitch of Codemasters once again striking. Doran through the final corner. He's going to come up to P3, a 15.336 for the Aston Martin off the bat of the season, and this could be a nice start for him if he can stay in this position. Of course he gets one more lap, possibly the Vicker up 6/10. This could be a mega lap for the Ferrari, and it is a mega lap. He's up to P2. It's a Ferrari 1-2 so far in the session, but a lot of drivers are willing to change that. Billy G's one of them. He's going to have a crack at it now through the final corner. He's going to have a slight wheel spin though. Here's the Scott. He's still going to go to P6 with a 15.444, and he slots in behind the Mercedes of Dom and ahead of the 2 McLarens in P7 and P8. Red Doubts now through the first sector. John Mobes is probably going to be the next driver to set a lap. 4 tenths up for Red Doubts through sector 1 there in the Haas. Hello to everyone watching now. Hello to Tiger Buka. As there we go, Red Doubts, slight mistake there through sector through 6 and 7. As he heads through to the very high speed section now, as he's got a Ferrari behind him. I believe that might be the Vicar, or it might be John Mobes on his out lap, or Vicar on his in lap. I believe it's Vicar. But as things stand, it's Ferrari 1-2 to start the season off, which I'm sure they'll be loving to start the championship strong. I believe those two could be a very, very strong contenders for the constructors. Oliver will be commentating on Division 3. He has swapped with me for tonight, and for the rest of the season as well. So I'm the main commentator on Division 4 for the foreseeable future. I don't believe I have a co-com yet, as of yet, but I'm fine doing it solo. John Mobes improving his first sector time by 1.1.5 tenths there through 6 and 7. Sun is starting to peek out of the clouds now as he comes through towards turn 8, the high speed left over the curbs right, and again through there, and it's nice from John Mobes. He's absolutely flying. I believe he'll be commentating on this YouTube channel, which is available through the server, or of course on YouTube, as you can of course subscribe and obviously like the video and enjoy some racing throughout the season, of course, with Div 2 tomorrow and Division 1 on Wednesdays, which should be exciting races to start the season off. John Mobes doesn't improve his time, but he might get another crack at it, or he might not. Sun is starting to peak. We should see lap times start to peak a bit now, as the sun will help with temp and will help with pace. Simo up not up, maybe 500 through the first sector, 3 tenths down through the second sector. I don't really see much improvement for her at the minute, unless she can pull out a bit of a miracle through the final sector here. Through the final corner she comes, as she hugs the inside, and it's going to be P9 for Simo, 2 tenths up, 2 tenths down, sorry, and she should, barring any improvements, she will be P9 to start the season off. Dylan Vince up there at the minute 2. Doran on an outlap. Will he make it to the line? He should. So far, Alex Haug, though, is going to be the interesting one to watch. He's absolutely rapid around here, and he doesn't quite get P1, but he gets P2. He stays ahead of the Vicar as well, improves ahead of the Vicar, who will stay in P3. So it's at the minute, John Mobes on pole, followed by Alex Haug and the Vicar. Doran might be able to improve. Dom 5 seconds down, plus an invalidation. Billy G 2 seconds down. He won't be improving. Preb a 10th up through the final corner. He comes nice and tight on the inside line. He moved up to P7, out qualifying his teammate to start the season off. Simo, no improvement. Dylan Vince 7 tenths up. What will that put him? At the minute, it'll put him P9. Maybe a bigger improvement. It will put him P10. Less than about a 10th off of Simo there, though. Mate, Creed 5 tenths down, but the important one to watch is Doran. He is slightly up on his time. He needs to improve and pull out 2 tenths to get ahead of the Vicar, and another 10th to pull ahead of John Mobes on provisional pole position. He just comes through the stadium section now. Lock up there as he comes through. Left-hander, right-hander, and he's a little tight heading through the final corner there. But let's see what he can get done through the final corner. He comes, and it's going to be P4. 1/10 improvement for Doran, and he's 2/200ths off of the Vicar on his lap time. So it's going to be your provisional pole, your starting grid for the opening round will be John Mobes on provisional pole. John Mobes on pole position, followed by OWR Alex Haug, the SFR the Vicar, SFR Doran, Dom in P5, the believe rookie for SFR, Billy G in P6, followed by Preb and Silver Fox in P7 and 8 in the McLaren. Simo is in P9, Dylan Vince is in P10, and I'll get the rest up as we head to the next screen. Brass Monkeys P11 in the Haas, Smooth Operator in P12 in the Williams, Haas, it's a Haas Williams there, as Red Delta P13, Night Creed P14, as they hope to improve position during the race. Mexico City don't really feel there's much chance of a safety car unless someone does decide to spin through the middle sector, which obviously very easy to do. But the gap there off the bat of the season, top 4 is within 2/10 of each other. This could be an interesting season to keep an eye on, and it could be a really good championship fight if between the Ferraris, the Alpine, and the Aston Martin, if they keep the pace up that they are currently showing. Mexico, of course, one of the older tracks, I believe. I've already mentioned that. And lap record round here, a 117.5, sorry. Valtteri Bottas set that back in 2019 during his Mercedes days. Of course, returning to Mercedes in this year. He'll be returning to Mercedes. Maple believes that Alex can win this. This will be an interesting battle for the lead. And we'll see if John Mobes has the race pace as well as his quali pace. And this is a very interesting test for a lot of the drivers, as they can see what each other had brought to the table for the season, which can, of course, lead to a lot of close racing, but it also can lead to incidents. As here we go, formation lap is underway, as Alex Haug is on the medium, so he's gone for the alternate strategy compared to the pole man, John Mobes. John Mobes on the hards, along with his teammate and Dom and Billy G2. So 4 out of the top 5 are on the hards, 1 on the mediums, and everyone is on the mediums apart from those 5 drivers at the front, which will be interesting to see. Hards, of course, slower off the line. Alex Haug has gone for the pace off the line, which means his tyres will fall off a little bit faster than John Mobes compared to that. So if we just move along now, telemetry disabled, full track map on, and this will be an interesting run down to turn 1. I believe the longest run to turn 1 is at Mexico City. Of course, it's incredibly long, and then into a not really heavy braking point, but we might see a couple dives here and there. The Vicar hanging back a bit on the formation lap, trying to warm his tyres up. Of course, the hard's harder to warm up on the formation lap, as we would just like to say Division 3 will be up and running within the next minute or 2. So if you would like to tune into that, you can, but I recommend staying here, as I believe we might have a close race on our hands, with Alex Haug on the mediums, John Mobes on the hards, Vicar on the hards, and the 2 Ferraris starting 1 and 3, which tactical pole position will be going to the Vicar. Of course, how long the run into turn 1 is. It's a lot easier as the Vicar gets disqualified on the formation lap for being outside of his grid box. He will start in the race though. DRS is disabled. John Mobes, 5 red lights are enabled here at Mexico City, and the new season is underway, and it's lights out, and away they all go, as it's a good start there for Dom and Doran. Vicar dropping back. Alex Haug will take the lead into turn 1. He's got it into turn 1. Doran's there too, as all 14 of them head down into turn 1. It's late on the brakes for a lot of drivers. Doran there locking up. It's going to be Dom round the outside of him. Doran P4. Brass Monkeys is spinning down to P13, and the Vicar is down to P14 too, as there's another incident there involving Smooth Operator and Preb. 2 in the wall off the line, and that is damage for Preb as well. He might have to pit and repair it. The Vicar already trying to make up places as he's being shoved onto the grass by the Williams there, as I don't think that move was on for the Vicar. Frustration is going to be in for him starting P3, and he's already down to P11 as he's moved back up a couple positions off the line, but that was a very poor start for the experienced Ferrari man. John Mobes off the line, beaten by Alex Haug though, or Alex Haig, I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. If anyone could help me on that, that would be lovely. As we might see there, Dom right on the back as there's contact between Dylan Vince and Doran. Dylan Vince, what a start, 5 positions off the line. Billy G into P6, staying in P6. Dylan Vince obviously off the line, P5. Preb 3 second time penalty already. Not even the end of lap 1, and he's picked one up. Might see quite a few penalties as we go later into the race, of course. Very hard to stay within the track limit here. Dom is all over the back of John Mobes. Will we see a dive bomb into turn 1? No, we won't, as the camera angle did not show it. Doran with a huge lock up through to turn 1 there. Red Doubts all over it. Dylan Vince all over Doran too. 3/10, less than a second separating them all. It's Dylan Vince. Might go for a dive bomb into turn 4. He's alongside. No, just backs out a bit. Red Doubts round the outside. Switches to the inside for the next corner, turn 6. No. Switchback coming from Billy G. He does not get it done. As we move through turn 6, 7 and 8 here through lap 2. Quite a gap there, over a second between this, as it's a bit of a train at the start of the field. Medium hard is the possible pit strategy. I'm guessing hard medium. Of course, the opposite, causing a tyre offset which means pace towards the end for the hard runners, which means they lose pace at the start, but gain a lot more pace towards the end, of course, with fresher tyres and a lot more rubbered in track. 8/10 gap as we head to the DRS line. DRS is enabled at the end of lap 1, of course. Now Dom with a 3 second time penalty already here at Mexico, and that's going to be tough. Alex Haig with the fastest lap in 18.4, sorry, for the Alpine. John Mobes DRS enabled. Down to turn 1 we go. It's just sitting behind, nice and tactical from him, as Doran trying to put pressure on to Dom, try and get him out the DRS of the cars in front, maybe just putting the pressure on for now and see what happens with it. Dylan Vince as well want to try and pressure. It's just quite a big train here for the for a lot of drivers here. Preb as well with another 3 second time penalty through through lap 2. So it looks like he's struggling quite a bit. Speaking of struggling, Dylan Vance quite wide through there. Red Doubts not close enough to capitalise, and I don't think he would there. That's not really an overtaking opportunity through that corner, as it's just you'd both lose too much time to try and fight it through there, as John Mobes is closer this lap than he was last. Dylan Vince there though, as I say that, John Mobes making slight mistake there through that. Dylan Vince is round and in the wall is the the Visa Cash App race symbol, the Toro Rosso. I'll probably be calling it for ease, but the V-carb in the wall, he stays out for now. Vicker up to P10, up to P9, and that is a move for the Vicker with DRS. He hopes to close in on Simo and closer to the podium spot. Doran off of a second now, off of Dom, as I believe that mistake off of Vince might have been a bit of contact between the two. Okay, that was a bit of a glitch. Welcome Indigo, the, of course, usual commentator for Division 3 and Division 2 and Division 1 last season. Put in a shift, did the man last season, and we were all incredibly grateful for that in SFR, and it was a good season for him. Red Doubts now with the 3 second time penalty. Doran back into P4 as well. What's happened to Alex Haig as well? He's dropped from P1 to P2 and then to P3 as well, as Dom getting very close there, trying to cut the corner to try and maybe gain a bit of time onto John Mobes, heading onto the straight. He'd get the move and the DRS done with some ease. Of course, how the track is, it's so incredibly easy to overtake through turn 1 and with the DRS and the ERS and the fresher, the better tyres. The Vicker though, 18.1, 3/10 faster than Alex Haig on his fastest lap so far, as a slight, very, very slight contact by the looks of it through turn 1, as wheel banging between the two. Dom trying to get the optimal line as best as he can. John Mobes is just going to have to live to fight another day. Of course, with the 3 second time penalty, he can just sit behind and wait. Alex Haig, no dive bomb so far. John Mobes and Doran might be trying it. No, he's just going to bide his time on the hards and wait for those mediums to fall off. Red Doubts over a second behind now. 2 seconds behind nearly. Billy G should be able to get this move done down the main straight. Silver Fox there too. Vicker and Simo in a battle, as Vicker is on a bit of a comeback drive, starting P3 of course, getting the tactical pole position, disqualified himself and has a poor getaway for him, as Red Doubts is dropping positions. So Red Doubts has gone wide through, I'm not too sure there, as I believe Simo's gone wide too, as she kicks up a lot of dust and just lets through SFR the Vicar there. Quite a lot of respect between the two. I believe Simo, former admin of GP5, Division 5, back in when I joined Season 9, and Vicar, of course, a current admin, and yeah, he will be up to P6, up to P8 now, 2 seconds to the next car ahead. John Mobes overtaken by Dom by DRS. Alex Haig on the back of John Mobes now. Could we see an overtake there? Could we see an overtake by Doran? Thomas Spillane. Dom a good driver, but loves a penalty more. As Dom has been overtaken again by John Mobes without the DRS's contact between the two at the front. Wish we could get a better camera angle than what we've got at the minute, as F1 don't really provide it. EA don't really provide that much. As we see Alex Haig maybe starting to struggle on those mediums a little bit. Vickers definitely not struggling on those hards. He's closed the gap 7/10 already to Red Doubts. Press the wrong button there. He, I believe, could be a championship favourite, as Red Doubts has made another mistake. Red Doubts in the wall through the middle sector and onto the middle sector little straight. No safety car so far, as John Mobes picks up a penalty, and as things stand, provisional win is going to Alex Haig. Could it be Doran though, as he heads down the main straight? Doran has got that move done before the DRS, before the breaking point, but here comes Alex Haig right back at him. No, he just does not have it. John Mobes drops down to P2 now behind Dom, as Doran now leads the race on provisional due to penalties. There's a car towards the back, made another mistake. That smooth operator in the Williams might be starting to struggle on those mediums. Of course, 6 laps into the race, 7 laps into the race, nearly it'll be 7 laps this lap for these drivers. It's starting to get a bit dicey for some of them. Maybe not maybe some of them aren't really used to the tyre weight of like over a decent distance, as Preb and Dylan Vince swap positions down the main straight. Going to keep an eye on this front battle though. John Mobes still having DRS. He's going to go for it down the tiny straight, but that'll give Dom DRS down the main straight. Alex Haig really struggling now. He's nearly a second behind. John Mobes goes wide. There's contact through the stadium as Dom moves down to P4, beats P2, and he gets another penalty. And this has invited Billy G back into the fight, as the Vicar is nearly there as well. 1.5 off of Silver Fox. Here comes Dom. Down the main straight he goes. Through to P1, and he's just going to edge ahead towards the braking zone. Here comes Doran though. He's going to back it off. Billy G, Doran's teammate, round the outside of turn 1. He's got it done for the inside through turn 2, but I'll turn to the outside for turn 3. There's contact. Alex Haig making slight contact with Billy G over the curb, and that will put him down. I believe that could, I'm not too sure on Alex Haig. I think might have just back it out, live to fight another day for him, as he now is into the Joseph Silver Fox towards the end of this lap, possibly, as his confidence might be a bit knocked, as the Vicar is slowly closing in now as well in that Ferrari. But as it stands, it'll be a 1-2 for the Aston Martin off the bat of the season, off the season start, which would be interesting to see. John Mobes getting overtaken by Doran down the slight straight here. No DRS so far. John Mobes goes wide through turn 17, I believe that is, or turn 16, entering the stadium section, as Billy G out of the DRS, and into the DRS goes Alex Haig on the Aston Martin. He might be pushing to try and get that position back. John Mobes certainly trying to get the position back on Doran, who is out of the DRS of Dom, but Dom has that pace at the minute to just extend, keep the DRS keep the drivers behind with DRS at bay. Billy G not close enough. John Mobes going to get a double helping of it, which will help him slide back into the DRS of the Mercedes. Red Doubt speed in the pit lane, might have to change that front wing on from earlier in the race when he might have had a collision. As far the Vicar up to P6 on a comeback drive, 2 seconds to Alex Haig now. Of course, the Vicar has his son in the league. Is that damage on Billy G? I'm pretty sure. Yes, Billy G is driving with damage through the middle sector. This will hamper him quite a lot, which is not really what you want around here. It's quite a high downforce track according to the time trial setups, which usually indicate quality, but I believe for race as well around here it's quite high downforce, so it's quite useful for that. DRS for everyone in the top 4 here. Billy G might want to get that changed at the pit stop or a safety car if one does indeed come out. Red Doubt's already onto the hards there, as the Vicar and Alex Haig already, the Vicar's already brought in at 7/10 that lap. Not even a full lap, it was about 2 sectors that lap was the Vicar behind, and he's already 1.2 behind. As he heads through turn 1, he's just closed in again massively there on Alex Haig. Alex Haig really starting to struggle on these mediums now. He might want to swap them out. 26 laps though on the hards is quite an ask, as he's gone round nearly through turn 4. Turn 5, the Vicar gets him. No, he just backs out. Space is still there, a lot of respect between these two, as Alex Haig and the Vicar go side by side through towards turn 8. He's going to back out surely. Yes, he does. Retirement in the pits there for the Williams to start the season, as Red Doubt into the pits too, as the Vicar is just going to sit behind for now. Billy G outside of the DRS of his teammate. Doran 3/10 off, and 4/10 for John Mobes, as that drops of course through the stadium section, which is quite hard to follow through. Nate Creed through up there through Simo. Simo has gone round 2 through sector 2. Might lose a front wing there. Yes, she has. John Mobes has got DRS. John Mobes has got the slipstream. John Mobes has not got the pace to take turn 1 at P1. Slight lock up there, slight rear lock for him. Doran slow, just biding his time, sitting there. Nice and simple for him. Just keeping the DRS, charge the battery, which is of course what you want to be doing in the DRS trains, and you just want to wait until the end of the race really to strike, especially in a train like this, especially when you've got the penalties in front. You just want to sit there and just go, right, you can battle, you can take as much time as you want. I'm just going to sit here and bide my time, wait for you to make mistakes like John Mobes just did there. John Mobes has dropped slightly through the middle sector. He will get DRS, however, as Dom just sits off, waits for them to come through. As it looks like, yeah, nice easy training. This could be a good season battle, as John Mobes picks up a 3-second time penalty now, his second of the race, which will put him down to P5 as things stand. I'm pretty sure down to P5. Yes, it will be. Alex Haig has already pit onto the hards. Again, about 25 laps. Here comes Doran though through to turn 1. He's got the speed on John Mobes. He's got the exit on John Mobes. And he's got the position off of John Mobes so far through turn 1. John Mobes is going to get the outside line though, and that'll turn to the inside, and he just keeps the position. Good battling between the two there, as he keeps the lead, but could that have cost them DRS on Dom? Dom 8/10 now. Simo speeding in the pits there, and it looks like John Mobes is just making a couple of mistakes here and there, which is going to affect his race. Of course, it's not easy to keep going. To keep going consistently around like a track like Mexico. It just punishes mistakes so hard by either losing a lot of time going wide, going on the grass, or just penalties. A lot of penalties will stack up around here, as you need to be right on the edge of the track limits around this circuit. As he heads through the stadium section outdoor and seems to have dropped out of DRS, might give his teammates a chance to attack the two in front, as he looks to have quite a bit of pace over them in the Aston Martin. Doran might just be going for a charge on his battery or things like that, as it looks like he is. Yeah, there we go, flashing light, as he gives his teammate quite a bit of a shove to the outside there, right to the inside there, sorry, into turn 1, as they both brake decently there. As Doran just wants to maybe just save the battery for a bit, stay in DRS, and just wait for the fight to come to him eventually again. John Mobes still there, in P2. 6/10 off, 12 lap old, 13 lap old this lap hards, which it's not really what you want to be making it to at least half distance before swapping them out, if I'm not wrong in saying that. The medium seems to just fall off out of nowhere, which might happen to the hards too. Billy G already back into DRS, John Mobes into the DRS2, not going to make a dive into this just very bland right-hander there into the stadium section here. Of course, Formula E does race here too in Mexico City. It's quite a good race as well. A lot of the time is Formula E, just the same. A shame about the engine sounds. Here we go, Dom under pressure through turn 1. He should be losing this lead. As there we go, John Mose pulls out and takes the lead of the race back on the start of lap 14 as he tries to follow into the slipstream. Does Dom. Dom picks up another time penalty, and that's 9 seconds worth, and we're not even hitting half distance at the minute. He's on for 18 seconds of penalties if he keeps it at this rate. Billy G sitting there now. Doran has really fell off this lap. What has happened to him? He looks to be struggling. Alex Haig, nice move through to turn 1 for him. Vicker is going to be behind Doran. He's about 3.5 seconds off of Billy G so far, which is the next car after Doran. So it's about 3 seconds now. He's gained again onto the Aston Martin. Billy G sitting there as well, just sitting behind the two, squabbling away for that lead of the race. Both of them he's just biding your time. You've got to wait and wait and wait. Maybe a perfect strategy call by the Aston Martin as well. He might maybe trying to hold up the Vicker, as the Vicker isn't in to DRS range now, and we should hear it deploy. Yeah, there we go, the little beep, you can hear it, and we see his little hand go behind the screen as here comes Dom into turn 1, and he will be taking the lead of the race right back off of John Mobes. He's going to go slow, push him well wide, which opens up John Mobes to Billy G, who does have DRS. John Mobes, of course, doesn't. Heading down to turn 4, ERS, DRS, everything's going to be enabled here for the Aston Martin. He's going to go round the outside. He's going to be shoved to the outside, which is to the inside, and it's going to be a switchback attempt. Switchback 1, no. Switchback 2, yes, and he's going to get the move done through to turn 7. Nice move from the Aston Martin, and he's now over a second behind though, so he's going to have to pull in through this middle sector, and that's a brilliant move by the Scot on John Mobes, of course, saving up the battery. He just goes for it round the outside, forces John Mobes to go a little deep, just goes, right, I'll have that, switch back. John Mobes goes deep into the second part as well, and here comes, he's going to go for it again, no, he's going to back out this time on lap 15, and we have a change to the lead. I'm going to guess onto lap 16. Onto lap 16 we head now, as coming out the final corner, and now we go to lap 16. Nice tight line for Billy G, shaving just maybe a couple hundredths off there of the lead. Dom just sitting ahead, and you know what, it's just going to be just save it up, no need to push. Still over 20 laps to go, as he's not going to go for it through turn 1, as John Mobes might be trying to switch back here. He's going to get 1, he's going to get 2, and he's going to get 3, and he's not going to get it done. Yeah, 3 corners to try and get it done, but no, just chooses to buy his time. For now, Vicker past Doran, didn't notice that, sorry on me. 22-second gap for Alex Haig to these guys now in the lead of the race. Doran down to P5 after taking the lead briefly, I believe, earlier in the race. But it's so far been a clean race by everyone in the front pack, clean race for most people in the mid pack, and even in the back it's been quite a clean race. Quite a couple penalties though, but you know, it's a bit of rust, you want to shake it off before the start of the season. John Mobes goes very wide late on the brakes, and that has dropped him quite a bit behind them, and that was a huge opportunity. Blue, and he might be out of DRS. No, he's just back in here at Mexico, and that was late on the brakes behind Billy G. I'm guessing Dom was early, guess Billy G was early, but here comes the Vicker. He's I believe the oldest member in the league, and I believe he is 57. But that means, but age has not slowed him down. Of course, he's aged like fine wine in this race so far as this big contact. Billy G and Dom. Dom just shoves him off the track, and the Vicar from P14 is going to retake the lead. But here comes Esteban Doran now, the Scouser, on the inside line, and he's going to just back out of that. No risks taken by Doran and Vicar. And what happened there between Dom and Billy G? Pair of them making contact through turn 3, turn 2, turn 3. And the pair of them went off, and the pair of them have lost 2 positions. Not really smart from either party, and I believe just we'll leave that to the stewards of Division 4, as of course they will get all footage from both drivers if it is reported by either Dom or Billy G. Dom goes wide again, picks up a 12 seconds overall now. For him, it's not been the cleanest for him, but he he'll improve with time. Of course, Rust and Division 4, it's for more newer drivers, but it still provides quite a lot of good racing between these two, as we saw there earlier between Doran and Vicar, and John Mobes and Dom, and Billy G and John as well. Quite a few battles up and down the field. Billy G and Dom are going to be all over each other again, nearly through tier 3 again. Billy G thought damage my front wing further. Of course, he's been carrying damage since I believe lap 1. He might have made contact. He might have been the reason Vicar ended up so far back, which has ended up in a this is just overall been a really cracked performance by the Vicar. Has picked up a penalty, but Doran will be loving that. But the Vicar, of course, sitting there, is going to be trying to pull out the gap. And yeah, this will be a very interesting race. As back to it there, so I just had to have a drink of water. Doran nearly a second off of the Vicar already. Dom with another time penalty this race. It's starting to stack up. Sector 2 yellow flags. That is a McLaren of Preb through turn 7. Red dots with the penalty now 2. It's all stacking up at Mexico City, and it's Mexico's a very hard track to nail in terms of track limits. It's not the easiest, of course, being the middle sector is very easy to rack up warnings, and the first sector too. The first 3 corners very easy to just pick it up, and stadium section as well. Billy G starting to fall off a bit now. He might be just starting to save. Dom there in P3, just sitting bad in his time, thinking I've got nothing to push so far. I'm still in P3. With the pit stop to go, as we're now reached over half distance in the opening round of Division 4 and the opening rounds of S4 as a whole in Season 17. And it's been quite the show so far between these drivers. John Mobes picking up a penalty now in P5. That could be costly come the end of the race. Every penalty counts, of course, in this race. Track limits in the game are a little bit broken, but it's still within your responsibilities to stay within the white lines. Billy G has became within a second of Dom now. Doran has just kind of fallen off, maybe just saving a bit of tyres, see how long he can go on them before pitting and getting the fresh tyres. Of course, tyre offset is a big word used in F1 nowadays, and they'll be hoping to get that towards the end of the race. Of course, over Alex Haig, they will get the tyre offset. As this is, we should start seeing these front runners start to come into the pit tonight, Creed, with a 3-second time penalty. Now we should see quite a few of these come into the pits. Billy G all over the back of Dom. Dom going quite wide, slowing up through the middle sector. This could be quite interesting between these two. Billy G going wide. And this has been a great race so far. John Mobes having a look at the Aston Martin 2. As Vicker first to blink, John Mobes, of course, staying out. Dom, 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that has ended any slim chance he had of winning so far, I believe. As he picks up the 10-second time penalty, Alex Haig coming around the final corner. Will he be ahead? He, of course, has the undercut on a lot of these drivers. Here comes Alex Haig out the pit lane. There's the Vicker. He's going to become P2 on the road, I believe, based off this position. Still a couple of battles going on here for the lead. It should be Vicker in P1, Alex Haig P2, followed by Doran, Dom, Billy G, John Mobes. A 16-second gap for John Mobes and Billy G2 over Dom. Hopefully they can put in a good in-lap, if they do choose to pit this lap, of course, with Doran staying out to take the lead of the race. As coming around the penultimate corner there, Doran stays out. Billy G, his teammate. Will we see a Aston Martin dive into the pits? No, we won't. Yes, we will. It's very late there. And there's contact entering the pit lane. John Mobes hits the back of Billy G, as John Mobes has picked up a 10-second penalty for a severe collision with Billy G, and that could be removed by stewards, or it could be kept on if they choose to. Come up behind Vicker, they come up behind Alex Haig, and they come out, more importantly, right behind Dom, and possibly nowhere near Silver Fox, as Doran stays in the lead of the race, maybe hoping for a safety car to come out, as we see Dom still there in the P4. He's gonna try and get Alex Haig through now on the fresher tyres. 10-lap tyre offset for him. He's gonna go for it into turn 4. No, he's not. He's gonna sit behind, bide his time, maybe go for a switch back through towards turn 6. He's gonna go for that. What a move by Dom over the curbs and getting the move done. Here's the the Mercedes driver. Nice move for Mercedes, for the Mercedes car there. So he moves himself up to P3 again. Of course, with the penalties though, that could be an issue. Doran finally pits. John Mobes might be getting that 10-second remove, possibly, unless he does save it throughout the race. Doran onto the mediums, of course, being the only tyre he can use. 13 laps to go, 14 laps to go. Vicker 17.7, fastest lap of the race so far. Doran coming out the pit lane now. He'll be behind Dom. He'll be behind someone else. Red Doubts has gone off, and he's gone for a big lock-up down to the Formula E layout he seems to be taking there, and that was unlucky for Red Doubts. Sure, he'll be able to bounce back in the next week over in Hungary. Doran 3.5 seconds, but a 2-lap tyre offset on the Vicker, and of course having the penalty advantage too. Consistent driver is Doran, consistently quick, consistently near the top, consistently in the white lines, and I've cursed him with the commentator's curse there. I believe that will end up happening now. Dom's still there behind them. Alex Haig behind him too. Billy G going to be pushing to try and get past and just cut into the gap. Dom has had over, and Billy G picks up the time penalty. I cursed the wrong Aston Martin driver, as John Mobes still there behind him with the penalty too. Billy G sitting there now, just biding his time, going to wait for the main straight to get the double dose of the DRS, instead of giving Haig another chance, as Dom picks up another time penalty and decides to pit now, and that is unlucky. And that'll be the end to Dom's race, and that is unlucky to see, and we should be able to see a bounce back next week. Just a bit of consistent there, as Billy G slows down too to let through drivers, and that will be because of the yellow flag caused by the pit lane retirement of Dom, and that is extremely unlucky for him. And that is the curse of this game. Sometimes it'll just cause a yellow flag, and you've got to give the positions back. The 2 positions gained by Alex Haig, you've got to give right back. gained by Billy G. Has to give right back, and that's going to drop him behind John Mobes 2. Vicker still in the lead of this race, followed by Doran, I believe. If you look at penalties, Vicker has got the provisional lead of the race too, along with the actual race lead. So far, been a mostly perfect race. Alex Haig picking up a 3 second time penalty now, as he will be behind Billy G possibly soon. As this race could get interesting in the last 12 laps of running, as the top 5 all within about 10-ish seconds of each other. 10.5 seconds. Alex Haig giving the position back to Billy G. Probably not by choice, as DRS and the tyre offset just will help him a lot through the corners on the exits and down the straight with the DRS, of course. As we hit our first kind of soft spot through the race at 25 laps in, it's been non-stop action. It took a couple of pit stops for that to happen. I believe Doran might have pitted maybe a lap too late. Of course, going for the tyre offset, he's dropped behind the Vicker. 4 seconds now. He needs to gain 1.1 in the remaining 11 laps to have a chance at the lead. He's gained 2 tenths there at the end of the second sector. As we come now into the stadium section, this is where the real time is gained or lost. John Mobes still there in P3. However, he does have 9 seconds worth of penalties, possibly 19 if they uphold his 10-second penalty for hitting Billy G into the pit lane. No damage was caused for either driver apart from the obvious 10 seconds for John Mobes for causing the collision. Billy G, however, with the 3 seconds, he wants to stay within at least 6 of John Mobes to have a chance in case the penalty is removed. Alex Haig there as well wants to stay within 6 of John Mobes to keep a chance at a penalty being removed, and staying ahead there too. Doran 4.6, the only driver apart from Silver Fox, the only 2 drivers at the minute to be without penalties in this race. And a very consistent race by the pair of them, and it's really good to see. Consistency will win you championships, either it be in real life or in the sim version too. As yeah, we'll see towards the end of this race what will happen. It looks like the Vicker is extending his lead, as I believe it might just be a bring home the win for him. Bring home P2 for Doran at the minute, and at the minute it's as well John Mobes in P3. But of course, it's anything can happen in the next 9 laps of this race. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, of course, as the old saying goes. As we just ride on board with Doran for a couple of seconds. It looks like there's a little battle going on here between Dylan Vince and Nightcreed and Simo. And quite the race these are having at the minute. Gap. Here comes Simo now, looks to be going for it into turn 1. Will she get the move done and dusted? No, she's starting to fall back towards the end of the straight. Here comes Nightcreed into turn 1, no, and there's contact, as it looks like there was a bit of early braking and contact between 2 this is going to get sketchy. Off the track overtake for Simo. She's going to have to get that back. There we go, the break there, and Preb's going to have to look into turn 4 too. As up the inside he goes on Simo really late braking there, as she goes, oh, what a save by the Mercedes, as she's done really well to just keep that on the track and out the wall there. Nice save by her. Nightcreed P8 staying ahead of Dylan Vince, staying behind Dylan Vince into turn 1, broke a little bit early, might have caused a little bit of contact between him and Simo. But overall, it will be a nice finish to the race. He's gone really late on the brakes there. He doesn't keep it within the white lines. He's going to have to give that place back. He's going to call. That was really, really on the lines of acceptable there, as my dog is now kicking off. As there we go, Preb's gone round and he's saved it, but he's going to have to stay within the pits. He's crossed the white line. Stewards might have a slight look at that. Don't believe they will. But Nightcreed, P7 still. Doran might have closed the gap there a little bit on the Vickers. He's going to get a nice help in the DRS off of the Haas down the main straight this time too. Just give me 2 or 3 minutes. I'll keep swapping over. The dogs are kicking off. Dylan Mintz starting to drop off a slight bit as Simo looks to the inside into turn 15. No, she has to back out of that. There's now a 5-second gap for the lead of the race. We'll be knocked down to 2-second gap. Preb getting the move done on Dylan Mintz way before turn 1. And that is him up to P8 on the track at the minute. Not too sure on penalties. I'll have looked towards the end of the race. Might be able to get P7 too. Will he break early? He's going to break late. He's going to break later. Then the Williams is going to get the move done late on the brakes. Nice move by the McLaren. Dylan Vince there in P9. He's going to have a little look. He's going to have a look. He's going to have a quick glance. And he's going to go late. Wheel bang. And it's... There we go. Ooh, off the track. Simo getting the move done on the switchback. She cuts a corner, and that is a nice move by Simo there on the switchback. Nearly had Nightcreed too, as she's up to P9 now, chasing down Nightcreed for P8. As we reach 7 laps to go. We've reached 7 laps to go, 4.5 second gap for Doran. He needs to bring it down 1.5 to have the win. As the Hasses have swapped positions. Looks like the Brass Monkeys made a mistake slightly. As through the middle sectors there goes Red Out as well. Both Hasses making mistakes through the middle sector, as that could have brought out a safety car, and it hasn't, which would have kind of reset the field, but would have been in a kind of an unfair way for the Vickers and Doran to have a battle towards the end there. Speaking of Doran and Vickers, he's brought in 7 tenths on that last lap. Seems like the tyre offset may be coming into play now. There's 2 laps fresher tyres, which means 2 lap older tyres and 2 laps closer to 2 laps more wear for the Vickers, which obviously does not help. Stora put the tyres on a 2 lap lower fuel load, which means, you know, it can be a little bit easier and less wear compared to the Vickers' higher fuel load when he put them on. Which of course is why we saw in the first stint Alex Hager, he dropped off so quickly. After about 10 laps, Doran is really pushing now. Within 3 seconds of the Vickers, he is slamming that car to the absolute limit at the minute. Maybe going for the win on track, never mind on penalties. .5 to go in Mexico City, as I've had to bring it down a bit due to the dogs. And yeah, John Mobes still P3. And we're going to get the penalties up at this point. Tyres are all there at the minute as things stand. On track, your winner will be Vicker. P2 will be Doran. Swap them round, and that'll be the actual result. So, as things stand on penalties, John Mobes, 19 seconds worth, could be knocked down to 9. Still, Billy G will get that P3, as it stands 2. And that'll be John Mobes down to at least P5, possibly P6. But of course, if he gets that 10 second removed, he will be P4 on track. That'll be Simo will be knocked down in quite a few places. Dylan Vince with a 9-second penalty now. Oh snap! Oh, brilliant save for John Mobes there in the P3 position, and that was yeah, nice to see. Not nice to see. It wasn't nice to see. It was a good, brilliant save by John Mobes there. As the Vicar is still got that 3-second gap over Doran. Sorry, Doran is within 3 seconds of the Vicar. He needs to extend it 2/10 in the next 4 laps. As I would like to say now as well, completely clean race from Division 4, and that will be a completely full race of green flags. No safety car, no VSC, no nothing. Perfect start to the season for these boys. Little inconsistencies here and there, but it's been quite well for the lot of them. Which of course you want to see, consistency and as much racing action as possible. None of this artificial punch them all back up, which causes, of course, a lot of racing there. Doran outside 3 seconds now. He might be hitting the curve on his tyres. Doran 2/10 out the final corner, a 10th lost down the straight it looks to be. This is going to be a very close finish for these two. It could come down to 1,000th of a second, and every 10th, not even every 10th, every 100th counts in this race. Billy G gets the move done on track for P3. That means he will be on the podium, no matter what, as things stand. John Mobes seems to be, towards the end of this race, starting to struggle a little bit. Alex Haig's tyres might be coming back into window for a bit of an attack towards the end of this race too. Moving down to the battle for P8 as well. As things stand on track, it'll be Night Creed taking that position. On track it'll be Simo taking the position on track, but on post-race penalties it will be Night Creed taking P8 and getting some decent points for himself in, I believe, his first ever race in SFR, which is a good debut for him. A lot better than my debut, ended up in a wall in Hungary, a wet to dry race, which was very interesting to say the least, as I believe I was in the same division as Doran at the time. No, Doran was Division 5. I'm not too sure anyone in this race was in the same division. I'm not too sure. I think the only 2 drivers that were even in SFR during my first commentary was Vicker and Doran. Vicker was in Division 4, or GP4 at the time. Doran was in GP5. He won his first race, which I did comms over. The very squeaky voiced 12-year-old Smithy back then. Might have been 13 actually. But Doran within a second now, way closing on Vicker. Vicker might have made a mistake here. He might be even in DRS and getting it on track to the line. There's 1 lap to go. He's got a second and a half to gain. Well, it's a second and a half either way. They've split the difference on the penalty at the minute. Vicker needs a second and a half. Doran needs a second and a half to take it on track but Doran might just cruise this to the line. Vicar might not cruise this to the line, and this will be interesting to see as they come to the line now for the penultimate lap, for the final lap of the race. White flag is out, as they'd say in America, but we're not in America, we're in Mexico. And here we go, to turn 1, half a second gain for Doran, for the Vicar over Doran. He needs another second through this lap now. Doran cruising, he's got the win in the bag. Vicar win is in jeopardy as he gains another 2/10 through that first sector. This will be close. John Mobes a second and a half. He has the lead over Alex Haig at the minute on penalty. As Doran still there, Vicar still there, needs to have a perfect lap, maybe even a fastest lap of the race to take this win so far. He's got 8/10 to go with about 9 corners to go too. There we go, turn 8's done. As there's yellow flags, that's a Mercedes on the inside, that's Simo. Doran, that might give someone DRS, and it's going to give no one DRS because we know how dodgy these games can be sometimes. It might give a DRS, but it's going to be on track this season to start it off. A comeback drive for the SFR, the Vicar. Still has it at the older age. As Owen, we will talk to you after the race, mate, as the Vicar takes the win to start the season, but it will be Doran to take the post-race penalty win in the opening race in Mexico City. He takes the championship lead, of course, and it'll be his teammate on the podium in P3 as John Mobes finishes P4 on track, and it might be P5 overall on post-race penalties. P6 it'll be Silver Fox. Behind, yeah, so it'll be Alex Haig in P4, John Mobes P6, Silver Fox in John Mobes P5, Silver Fox in P6, Preb in P7, Night Creed in P8, and maybe, possibly with Dylan Vince still behind him, as he needs a 3-second gap over. It should be, so far, it'll be Dylan Vince, as there's a, here we go, it's a line, one of the Hassers is going to be next up, but here's the interesting one, these two battling on track, coming through the right-hander now. He's got a damage to his front wing, confetti's up for the winners, as it's going to be one of these two drivers in P8, and it looks to be Night Creed as he gets it done through the final corner. No mistakes there, and it's going to be the Williams in P8 and the V-Carb in P9, and that was a successful race overall. No safety cars, clean race, and a lot of good racing to start the season off, as SFR Doran will lead the championship going into Hungary in our second race of the season. SFR Vicar would driver of the day, according to the game. I agree. Absolutely deserved. Spun out on lap 1, made a great recovery drive, and is to start season off. You can't ask for much more. Doran, though, it's a toss-up between Doran and Vicar. Doran, of course, clean race, perfect race for him. And Owen, yes, you may join. I'll get one of the admins to contact you post-race. And that'll be it for Mexico City Division 4. Division 3 still ongoing. If you want to catch some more racing action, just go onto the channel. You should see it there. That'll be it from me tonight in Division 4. We will see you next week in Hungary. We will have another amazing race. I'm sure the SFR Vicar with the fastest lap, which will bring him a point closer to Doran in the championship too. And as for me in Hungary, as for me in Mexico, that will be it. Thank you for watching, and we shall see you next week. Division 2 on tomorrow night too. Again, it's Mexico. Division 1 is Mexico 2, all 3. All 4 divisions will be racing tonight. Division 3 still on. Go check that out, see what the results are as they are ongoing online services. Thank you, as that will be it for me. Thank you for watching, and